This week on The Harbor, we're going to hear from our good friend Austin EUBANKS about what it's like to live with and overcome addiction as a young adult.
My name's Austin EUBANKS, and I'm the program director for the Foundry Treatment Center in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And I remember being 11 years old and hanging out with my baseball team, and my dad comes home and says, "We're moving to Denver. I got a new job." So we moved to the big city, and I was enrolled in Denver Public Schools. And it was culture shock for me. I could not fit in. Nobody looked like me. Nobody talked like me. Nobody liked the things that I liked. Going into high school, my parents decided that they would allow me to go out of district to find a new environment, to find a safer environment. So we started touring schools, and eventually we settled on Columbine High School. All of a sudden, things started to feel better. I was able to find a friend group where they had common interests, and I met Corey. Almost immediately, Corey and I became best friends. All of a sudden, I had this person who was literally a mirror of myself. We had the same interests. We enjoyed doing the same things. We fished, we played golf, and we became inseparable. And April 20th, 1999, Corey and I were together. We were going to meet friends to go out to lunch, and we walked into the library. And Corey was the first person to say, "It sounds like gunshots." And 5 minutes later, the teacher runs into the library and screams, "Everybody get under the tables." We didn't know what to do. It was immediate shock. What's going on? Is this a joke? This can't be happening. I remember Corey saying, "Don't worry, the cops will come. We'll get through this." 11 minutes later, Corey was dead. He was shot multiple times, and I was hit twice as well. I left the library and went to a triage of police vehicles, and I was in complete shock. I felt nothing. I was completely destabilized because everything that I had found when I regained my identity was lost. Immediately after that, I was taken to the hospital, and I was prescribed a variety of substances for anxiety, pain, you name it. And all I knew was that a lot of educated people were prescribing me substances to make me feel better, and it was working. So when I look at what happened after Columbine, it was only 3 months and I was in active addiction. Prescription substances led to illegal drugs. It led to alcohol, cocaine, ecstasy, and my life continued to spiral out of control. I was never able to gain traction because everything revolved around substances. I had to wake up and use substances. I had to have them every day to be able to function. So my life was turmoil. In 2006, I was strongly encouraged by everybody in my life to go to treatment, and I said, "You know what, fine, I'll go." I didn't want to, but I did it. And that was the first moment in my life where I was sitting in a room listening to people talk about addiction, and I said, "You know what? These stories sound really familiar." I remember hearing those stories, and it sparked something in me where I said, "You know what? I don't think the behaviors that I have around substances are healthy." Unfortunately, 2006 wasn't the end for me. I left treatment and I went back to using. Finally, in 2011, I woke up in jail and I had no idea how I got there. I was in withdrawal, and I had no recollection of the day prior. I was completely blacked out. The police report said I passed out at a restaurant and the paramedics were called, and I had a warrant for a probation violation. And I remember thinking that day, if I don't figure this out, I'm gonna die. So I found another treatment center. I followed instructions. I put one foot in front of the other, and I moved on. I found myself processing grief and trauma that I had experienced at age 17 at age 29 because I was finally free of substances and I could effectively go through the stages of grief. I was able to resolve that trauma and get to a place where I could have a healthy foundation for living, moving forward. 18 months later, I got my first job in addiction treatment, and I've been working in the industry ever since. I really look at the youth population, and I think when you look at addiction, it can be split into two different parts. Addiction is either a result of peer influence or life circumstance. And that life circumstance can be parental influence, it can be trauma, it can be so many different things. Or you fall into a peer group where everybody's using substances, and all of a sudden you're using substances as well. The most important part to changing both of those aspects is the support that you have around you. So if you have a peer group that's using substances, be the leader in that group that's going to change. And if they're not willing to fall in line behind that change, find another peer group that is. If you know somebody that's struggling from addiction, or if you have a friend that you see is heading down a road where they have unhealthy behaviors around substances, don't be afraid to talk to them. That's absolutely what they need. I remember looking back on my life and thinking that the people who were partying with me and getting messed up all the time, those were my friends. But the truth is it was the people who were trying to pull me out of that life that were my true friends. Those are the people that cared about me, and those are the people who are in my life today. It's so much easier to change the course of your life before it becomes unmanageable. If you see that you're having trouble with substances, or that you're drawn to using a substance because it makes you feel better, or it allows you to not be present, or it takes you out of your current circumstance, start making changes now, because I promise you it's going to be so much easier in the end. The point to remember is, it's not that you have a disease, it's not that you're powerless, it's that you're powerful beyond measure, and you're just not living up to your full potential.
Good morning, Solenko. Today is Wednesday, February 28th. The weather for today is partly cloudy with a high of 58, and the lunch for today is popcorn chicken bowl with whole grain roll.
There will be a Color Crusades meeting on Thursday in room 407 during advisory. All students who are participating in activities during the Color Crusades assembly are expected to participate. See you there.
Congratulations are extended to the juniors who won the cafeteria decorating contest in first place. They will start the Color Crusades assembly on Friday with 400 points. Second place goes to the seniors, third place to the freshmen, and fourth place goes to the sophomores. Great job to all who participating in preparing the cafeteria, and to the select few who stayed out to hang up the decorations.
Attention sophomores, subs and sandwiches from our fundraiser will be delivered tomorrow, Thursday, March 1st. You will be called to the cafeteria at around 2:25, so please listen for the announcement.
Congratulations to the girls basketball team for another district win. They now play on Thursday at Penn Manor at 6:30 versus LS.
Today is the third day of penny wars during all lunch periods. The final day to bring in pennies and coins will be Thursday. Freshmen are in the lead, followed by sophomores, and third place are juniors, and at the bottom of the leaderboard are the seniors. The winning class goes into color wars with a possible point advantage.
A special shout out to the freshmen who are showing their school spirit. On Monday, 82% of the freshman class participated. There are still 2 days left to get points for your class. Currently, freshmen are in the lead with Spirit Day participation. Second place are juniors, third place is sophomore, and coming up fourth are the seniors.
A reminder, any students who plan on going to the Millersville and Hack field trips with Mr. Smith, your permission slips are due in guidance by Friday, March 2nd.
Attention spring athletes, please remember that this Thursday night is spring physical night. We start at 6 p.m. in the cafeteria. If you do not have an up-to-date physical on Monday, March 5th, you will not be able to start practice.
Attention all athletes who plan to go out for outdoor track. There will be an important informational meeting on March 1st during advisory in the cafeteria. Please plan to attend to get important information for the season. Any questions, please see Coach McTaggart or Coach Armstrong. Sports physicals are scheduled for March 1st. Remember, all athletes must have their physical papers or recent papers turned into the athletic office to participate for the season, which begins March 5th.
Any student who is interested in exploring a career in the health field, Mr. Smith will be taking students on a field trip to the PA College of Health Science. To sign up for a trip and receive more information, please stop by guidance.
This year, Drama Club and Avidum will be hosting a variety show entitled The Sun Will Rise to promote awareness of mental health and the importance of kindness. It will be held Saturday, April 14th. We are looking for your talents, singing, dancing, poetry, reading, anything. Auditions will be held Wednesday, February 28th through Friday, March 2nd during advisory in the auditorium. Please sign up for an audition on the sheet in front of the auditorium. See Rachel Optenegger or Mr. Biles in room 811 with any questions.
Today's events are Spring Musical Practice Chorus, room 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
We would like to wish the following a happy birthday: Michael Hertzler and Aubrey Smith. Please stop by the library to pick up your birthday treat.
On behalf of the WSLC News Team, I'm Tasha. Have a character Wednesday, Solenko.